what a beautiful time and what a blessing, what a blessed opportunity to come to you and to engage you again as we've done in the past. And thank you for opening your home, opening your space wherever you are, wherever you may be listening to this conversation from. Thank you for making time, taking the time, your precious time, to engage in this discussion. We're GCMA for short, Global Change Makers Africa, and in this particular organization and in this particular platform, on this platform and in these conversations, what consumes us is the blessing, the endowment, the empowerment given to us, endowed to us, bequeathed to us by our Creator, that makes us change makers. In other words, we have within us, if you like, the software, for the lack of a better word, or to use the terminology of the digital evolution, the software we have within us. We've been blessed with a software, we've been endowed with this software, which has the capability, which has the power to determine outcomes, to determine the outcome of life, the outcome of society, how we want life to be, how we want society to be, and also the power to carry it out and to make that happen. So each one of us is endowed, both individually and collectively, as a people, as a nation, as a society. So therefore, in these conversations here, we do not really subscribe to the concept of luck, that is good luck or bad luck. There may be something of value in that concept, in that kind of conversation, but for us, we believe that life is largely intentional, deliberate, based on clear principles and values that makes life work. Because life, in all that it entails, is about the fact that we each possess what it takes, what it requires to make our nations, to make our societies, our businesses, our organizations, our families, our homes. We all are endowed with what it takes to make it the blessed enterprise it should be, or the blessed project it should be, if you like. And so therefore, again, I want to welcome you very specially. Our target group is normally between 15 to 45. We focus on this demographic because we believe this is the target group where real change can happen, and happen quickly, where people are not quite set in their ways, but can lend themselves, are normally amenable to change, and can engage the thoughts and the ideas about change. We've been talking about mindset. So we can never emphasize this enough, about mindset, 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 mindset. Everything about mindset is what will determine the outcome of a nation, a society, a home, a family, an individual. My life as it is cannot be blamed first on an outside entity before me taking full responsibility for what my life is. My life is what it is. Your life is what it is because of mindset. Let me take you back just a little bit. You know, we started with desire, the power of desire, and then we came down to the power of you, and now we are discussing the power of mindset, or the concept of mindset, the nature of mindset, its power, what it can do. Now, if you put these three major themes together, everything along the lines of our discourse and our conversations and discussions, from desire, the fact that you and I must have desire, right down to the power of you, which just means your life, you, your destiny is in your hands, not another person's hands, but your hands. Right down to what we're discussing now about mindset, everything links together to put the responsibility of the outcome of anything and everything in our hands. First, your hands as an individual, my hands as an individual, and then collectively as a people. Collectively as a people. Now, in the last bit of our segment, in the part 5, we were discussing the mindset. We looked at the fixed mindset, rather, and the fact that being fixed in productive positions that is values driven, principle centered is good. However, the lack of having an open mind to enriching your perspectives, enriching your ideas, enriching the way you look at life, your outlook to life, is where the danger is. That's where the problem is. So, for example, if you look at our next slide, here is a health-related example. Let's use this health-related example. A woman is diagnosed with breast cancer. It's in its early stages, so the evidence suggests around 90% chance of survival. It means it's been discovered early, it's been found early, so she has 90% chance of survival. 90% chance of survival. But here's the thing, there's a backdrop and a background to the cancer disease that she's just discovered, or the doctors have just discovered she has. Her auntie passed away from breast cancer. As a result, her whole mindset doesn't allow her to be positive. Why? Because she has put 10% of the chances that the disease will kill her, she has put that 10% locked in a box. And the lock box says, you will die from the disease. Look at this. She has 90% chance of survival. The doctors have told her, thank heavens and thank goodness, we found out early. We found the disease early. So you have 90% chance of survival. Now, if her mindset is such that she locks in all of her life and the chances of survival only in the 10% and not the 90%, which the doctors are saying to her is the big window she has to live. In fact, to get healed from the cancer disease, the breast cancer, recover and live a full, beautiful life, happy life. If she decides to ignore in her mind that 90% of chance of survival and puts the all of her life, locks in the rest of her life, all of her hopes, aspirations, and everything about a beautiful future, the chance of living, if she locks it all up in that 10%, guess what? She would have done her own self this huge disservice. And where would it be coming from? First of all, what would the disservice be? The disservice will be that she has locked in her mind something that is untrue. It is untrue because 90% chance of survival means 90% chance of survival means a lot of hope and chance that she can beat the disease and live. People and the stories are there for us all to interrogate and to examine. People with 50% chance of survival, even 40% chance of survival, have survived. They beat the sickness, they beat the disease, and they survived. Why? Because really it was not the disease per se, even though considering the disease is important. It was not the disease. It was more of the power within the individuals to live, the power to live, the power to want to live, the power to beat back the disease, the power that formed this mindset that said, I can beat this, I will live, I will be well, I will enjoy my life, my family, my loved ones, I'm not going to go away that soon. That resolve was more powerful than the advancement of the disease, the crawling advancement of the disease. So that because she's locked her mind in that small 10% chance of dying from the sickness and has thrown away the 90% chance of survival, guess what? She wouldn't even go on to interrogate and investigate those who have beaten the disease, who had much, much less chance of survival, and yet survived. She wouldn't, hope will be lost, everything will be lost. Talking about a fixed mindset that's fixed in the wrong place. Just using this health-related example, okay? And the whole fixation on the fact that she would not live, even though so wrongly positioned, is not even positioned solely on her, but on the fact that she has somebody, a relative in her bloodline, her auntie, who passed away, who died from breast cancer. And so just because it is in her bloodline, or her genealogy, her family line, she refuses to address the question of hope. And the fact that the doctors, the medical experts, have actually told her that she has 90% chance, 90% chance of survival. She throws all of this hope, all of this bright hope, she throws everything out of the window. Why? Because of a wrong fixed mindset. So really, mindset is everything. Mindset is everything. Now, the knock-on effect is a decline in health, not caused by cancer, but because of her mindset about cancer. That's what we've been saying. Okay? She's found out she has breast cancer. She's found out it's only 10%. She has 90% of survival. People with less than 90% have survived because they chose the mindset to survive and to beat the disease. They beat the disease. She doesn't consider any of these testimonies. She doesn't consider any of these positive stories. She throws all of them out of the window. And guess what? She focuses on the narrow point that said the 10% of she dying from the sickness. So guess what? That thought, that mindset now becomes a real killer and not the disease. You'll be amazed at what has killed societies, destroyed lives, what has hindered us, what has pushed us back. You'll be amazed at what has rendered our lives unproductive, unfruitful, taking the beauty out, the hope, the shine, all of the beauty, just the beauty of life, just the excitement of our life. You'll be amazed at what has taken all of it out. All of it out. Not because of the circumstances we're dealing with, not because of the situations we're dealing with, but simply because we locked our minds into a lie, a wrong narration. We locked the mind into an untruth, or partial truth, not whole truth. We locked our minds into facts that had been spinned and twisted and sort of crafted, curated in ways to make us believe in a lie. And so, therefore, as a result, we were pushed into a corner where we lost our hope. We lost our hope. And in losing the hope, it was not because the circumstances were unsurmountable, difficult, but because we got locked into a mindset. And I'll tell you, my friends, the things, or the one big force, that one big power that normally locks people into a negative mindset, fixed negative mindset, are words. Words, people's words. What you hear, what you feed on, what you hear, what you feed on. Images, what you see. So your sights and your sounds. These forces can force a mindset on you that locks you out of the blessing of life, the blessing of having a good life, because you heard and you saw and you fed on the wrong narration and a lot of untruth. So, let's examine this very important statement of Russell Wilson, American football quarterback for the Denver Broncos. For those of you who might not be familiar, with American football, you can, just Google American football and just take a few minutes. It's an interesting, game, but it's played, primarily in the U.S. Now, this is what Russell Wilson said. He said, "I believe in positive synergy that your positive mindset gives you a more hopeful outlook and believe that you can do something great means you will do something great. Now, that's a very powerful quote, Russell Wilson. Let's repeat that. I truly believe in positive synergy. And what's the synergy? The synergy between what a positive mindset gives you, the fact that it gives you a more hopeful outlook. So a positive mindset, a hopeful outlook that strengthens the belief that you can do something great and you actually are able to go on to do something great. So in a nutshell, what it means is a positive mindset. A positive mindset can literally give you a positive outlook of hope. And you don't want to underestimate the power of hope. Now, a negative mindset, fixed negative mindset, locked in a small prison of it cannot be done, can take away hope. It will ooze hope out. Like a balloon loses the gas in it, or some gas cylinder loses the gas in it. That's what a negative mindset will do to you. A mindset that is not progressive, that is not energized, towards giving you a hopeful outlook, will take away hope. And so once hope is lost, really life is lost, because the basis of life is hope. The basis of life that progresses, that advances, that is productive, is hope. The basis of your joy, your happiness, all of it is hope. Now, a negative mindset will take away the hope, and when the hope is lost, you can forget it. The energy, the urge to do anything great will not be there. And what a true statement. Now, you can change your mindset. What does it mean? Even a fixed mindset is not set in stone. You see, a fixed mindset can still be open to richer perspectives. A fixed mindset can still be open to ideas and to new thoughts. That means if you are the kind of person who has no tolerance for conversation, for discussion, even for arguments, particularly ideas, thoughts that are different from yours. Ideas that are different from yours. Even if you had fixed positions about certain beliefs, at least, you have to have this attitude of openness to say, okay, let me hear what you have to say. Maybe, just maybe, I might find value in this perspective, in this new idea that might enrich my position, my belief, and my perspective. We have to be that. We have to develop that culture in order to have a mindset, even when it's fixed, that can still be transformed and become better and richer. You can change your mindset by learning and consciously choosing to believe that your characteristics are not predetermined and that you can continue to grow over time. So again, the faith in the fact, let me say that again, the faith in the fact that everything about you is not predetermined. You were not predetermined to be an angry person. You were not predetermined to be a callous person. You are not predetermined to be a person of devaluing attributes and qualities. You find people say, well, as for me, this is how I am. I don't think I can change. Guess what? Even at a later stage in life, 70, 80, 60, 90, you cannot say, and I hope you don't subscribe to those statements that says you cannot teach a dog, new tricks because the dog is used to, or some say cat, new tricks because it's stuck in its ways. It is true that we can be stuck in our ways. But again, if we are a people who are determined and who believe that life must be richer and life can be richer, so therefore our perspectives can be richer and our views can be richer, our positions can be richer. And they only get enriched by listening to other views, other perspectives. If we do that, I can guarantee you that there will be the hope, not just of changing, your position, but of enriching the position, of enriching the perspectives. So it is important to live this life with that openness, that open-mindedness, where you tell yourself, my characteristics are not predetermined, and that I can continue to grow over time. I continue to transform over time. I can continue to change over time. I can continue to do well over time. Mentalities are powerful. Mentalities, mindset, they're about the same. We'll discuss the difference at a later time. But they are powerful and difficult to change when dealing with a conviction. However, they are only something that is in the mind, and the mind, as stated, can be changed. So when a person says, this is my conviction, a conviction is something you are willing to die for. There are things we all must be willing to die for. There are things we all must be willing to really literally sacrifice our lives for. There are things we must be willing to stand even in the face of a loaded gun with bullets for. There are things in my life that I'm willing to stand even in the presence of a loaded gun and to still maintain. Positions I will maintain. But even that, when it comes to convictions, what we're saying is it's still important to leave a window, some little window. That does not necessarily change the basis of your value system and the conviction per se, but which sort of engages it and challenges it. After all, if you believe in the efficacy, the authenticity, and the value of those convictions and your positions, then you must not be afraid for it to be challenged and to be engaged with questions by other views and from other perspectives. So again, a fixed mindset that is untreatable. What it just means is it is so intolerant of any mind engagement, any new perspective, any new position, any, counter. Is just fixed. Of course, there are things in life that you must be fixed about. There are values, moral uprightness. You don't cheat, you don't steal a person, you don't take their property, you don't take their wealth, you don't ransack them in the name of what? In the name of being too smart. No, that's crookish behavior. That's criminal behavior. You cannot just steal from a person and say, I'm being smart. No, young people who are listening, you don't do that. You don't do scam things on the internet, cyber crime, where people do all manner of things. Young people, I had a friend, and I think I've told this story before, of this friend of mine who, both she and the husband have this nephew they look after, this 17-year-old boy who's in high school, who's about to exit high school to go to college, university. And you will be amazed at the sort of things they found on his cell phone. You talk about immorality, you talk about depravity, you talk about immoral behavior, you talk about depravity to the depraved levels. You will be amazed at what was found on this young boy's phone and things he engages in. Now, all of this, in the view of this young boy, is the thing everybody does. His schoolmates, the classmates, his contemporaries, his equals in the high school. That's the lifestyle. That's the order of the day. And when you see those things, still talking about this, couple and their nephew who they were looking after, taking care of, 17-year-old in high school. Even the most depraved minds, I believe, will see those acts, those habits. This young boy was, feeding on his phone as really depraved. And yet for him, that's about normal life. So that kind of a fixed mindset, of course, will grow. Hopefully, he will grow out of them and and learn better sense and become a better human being. A human being who has some moral values, who has some upright values, who has some values of honesty and integrity and character and good behavior and all of that. Hopefully he'll get that. But unfortunately, some get stuck and they get locked up in the prison of a fixed mindset in this rot, never open to other perspectives of change and transformation, and they end up getting destroyed. I hope and I pray that anybody listening, and all of you, particularly the young people listening, anything between the ages of 15 right up to 35, 25, 45, that we will choose the path of a mindset that is willing to be enriched with enriching perspectives, enriching views. In our final slide, let's look at Steve Maraboli, a decorated military veteran, philanthropist, and behavioral science academic, who once said, he said, once your mindset changes, everything on the outside will change with it. Now that in itself, Steve Maraboli's statement, that in itself is so profound. See, there are values, there are principles, one of which is Steve Maraboli's statement, which I guarantee you we can live by. We can live by, and will give us the desired outcome of a productive life, a happy life, a fruitful life, life that engages in making this world, our society, your nation, your country, your organization, your business, your home, your personal life. It means life on the personal level, the corporate level, societal level, the national level, the global level. These values, some of these values and some of these principles, if we imbibe them and continually engage them with the purpose of enriching them, they will give us the outcome of the great nations we're fighting for. We wouldn't have to steal elections. We wouldn't have to get into elections, violence. We wouldn't have to, throw around threats and so on. Why? Because the mindsets are more productive ones, progressive ones. They are nation building oriented, nation building driven, nation building centered. And so each one of us would be gravitating towards thoughts and actions and habits and values that will give us the destiny of a great nation. I tell you, my friends, and again, particularly to our target group, our young people, there is no nation here on earth, whether it's the Singapores or recent Colombias, who have transformed, or the Western worlds of the past who have transformed rightly, not on the backs of the wrong and evil, but rightly. There's no such nation who did not come through this path where the mindset is one of productive, progressive, engaging, advancing, wanting to see growth and advancement. There's no way a nation will not change if its people, whether in leadership, in the governing leadership, or those being governed, there's no way the nation will not change and become a better one with this kind of mindset. So Steve Maraboli is right, and that's really all it means. Once your mindset changes, everything on the outside will change. So therefore, the question here is it possible that when the individual, at the individual level, say in Ghana or Nigeria or South Africa or Zambia or Zimbabwe, or anywhere from Cairo to Cape Town, and from Senegal across to Somalia, or all over the world, anywhere all over the world, is it possible that at the individual level, if each one of us decide to develop this kind of quality mindset, this transformational mindset, Is it possible that if we pay attention to our thoughts and to our actions, to our words, to our habits, to our behaviors, is it possible that if we pay particular attention to these so that they are more principle-centered, values-driven, is it possible that everything outside of us will change? Outside of us means our governments will change, our systems will change, the work entities will change. Everything we blame on the outside will change because, according to Steve Maraboli, which I believe and which I believe is right, once the mindset changes, everything on the outside will change along with it. I want to leave you with these thoughts. Hopefully we've imbibed something until we come to our next conversation the next Thursday. I hope and pray that as we've been engaging these conversations about mindset, you will link them and connect them with what we started with, the power of desire, the importance of desire, and the power of you, the fact that you and I hold in our hands. This is how the Creator endowed and blessed us with. He put the destiny of life and its outcome and what it should be, my life as my life, your life as your life, our lives together. He put it all in our hands. How it's turn out and how it turns out, how it pans out. Of course, life happens. Things you cannot control. You and I can never control. That's why we say life happens. And that's true, life happens. Life does happen. But guess what? Even in the happenings of life, which is outside of our control, we can still control its impact, its effect, and its far-reaching impact. Why? Because the Creator endowed us with that power to determine those things and make those outcomes happen. And so hopefully you've learned something. Hopefully we both and all of us collectively are determined and are going to find within us the power, the profound power to determine how our nations should be, how our societies should be, how our businesses should be, how our lives should be, how our homes should be, not through forceful military style, top-down style, approach, but just that willingness on each and everybody's part to make this project called life work. Thank you very much, and I'll see you again. And take good care of yourself. Have a good evening.